Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. I'm so excited you're here because we're going to be making one of my favorite bags that I've designed. It's called the Never Been bag, named after Never Been Kissed with Drew Barrymore, because I thought the bag had a really classic silhouette and it's just a really cute staple, like 90s kind of bag, especially with like the fuzziness. So that's just where the name came from. So this bag is also like a really quick make. So if you're like me and you kind of have like just a bunch of ideas in your head and you have a lot of unfinished projects, this is going to be a good one for you because it doesn't really take that long to make since the yarn is really thick. So for this project, we're going to be using the Bernat blanket yarn. I didn't notice that I got the extra, which is not much thicker than the regular Bernat blanket. A lot of times I use the Bernat baby blanket because they have a lot of cute like lighter colors. So it doesn't really matter which one you grab. And we're going to be using a Q hook, which normally a Q I think is 15 millimeters, but for some reason this one says 15.75. But either way, a Q hook is going to be perfect. And then you're also going to need your scissors, obviously towards the end of the project. And then just on a side note, if you do grab the Bernat, let's just rip this blanket extra yarn, I would go ahead and save the label because this pattern, I don't know if you can see it, it looks like a really big granny square blanket, which is so cute because I never thought to make a granny square out of like such thick fuzzy yarn. So this just looks really cute. So I would save this label, that way you can go ahead and make that whenever you have free time, especially with winter coming up. You're gonna need a super cute warm fuzzy blanket. And yeah, if you look at the pattern, it just looks like a quick granny square blanket. It's only, wow, it's only made up of 4 rows. Oh no, it's 4 rows in the picture and then you just keep going. Yeah, so just, I suggest saving this for later because it does look super cute. And that looks like a really good quick make as well, and something that you can make as like gifts for Christmas, or if anyone has any birthdays like early January, February, I think that'd be really cute too. Okay. So right now we are going to start this blanket, or I'm sorry, I have the blanket on my brain, not the blanket, this bag. So you can go ahead and do the slip stitch or just tie your yarn onto your hook, which I always tie because that's what I got used to when I first learned how to crochet. So to start this bag, we are going to chain 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So we're going to go ahead and chain 14, and you'll just want to make sure that when you're going back to do your stitches that you count the first row, because since this yarn is so fuzzy, it's kind of hard to see each chain. So this bag is going to be made up of only half double crochets. It's a really simple pattern. So for half double, so chain, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Oh, I'm sorry, I don't know, I think I said 14, but we're gonna chain 15 actually. And then we're going to half double crochet into the second chain from hook. Just like that. Okay. and then go ahead and half double crochet all the way to the end of your row. So as you can see, like I mentioned, this is a really quick make because these stitches, this is just one half double crochet. It's really thick, and it's a really tall stitch. So this is going to be a super fast tutorial. Okay, so now we have come to the end of our row. So we'll half double crochet into the last chain. And this is what we have for our first row. And we are going to go ahead and do 2 more rows of half double crochets, and we will meet back here after we have our total of 3 rows of half double crochets. Okay, so now we're back with our 3 rows of half double crochets. 1, 2, 3. And we're going to start making the outside of the bag. So this is the bottom of your bag, and now we're going to start crocheting up this way to make the outside. So if you have your work this way, go ahead and turn it this way and then like this. Chain 1. So since we have 3 rows, we're going to half double crochet into each one. So we will do 1 half double crochet in the first row, and then this is our second half double crochet. So we're going along the sides now. So that's 2, and then for the last one, go ahead and do your last half double crochet. Okay, so this is a perfect example. I tend to crochet really tight, so if you notice, it almost looks like these side half double crochets are kind of pulling the bag inward, which you don't want. So I'm going to undo the last 2. And I'm going to redo them a little looser. You don't want these side stitches to pull your bag in any way, because it's going to give it a really weird shape. I cannot get the last one. Okay. Oh, that's why. I'm going into the wrong part of the stitch. That's why it's so weird. Okay. Okay, for some reason I cannot get this last stitch. Bear with me. This is taking a little longer than it should. Okay. Oh, see? And then sometimes if you don't crochet into the right part of the stitch, you're gonna have like these holes, which is not cute. So we're definitely gonna redo that. Oh, okay, finally. So I have my 3 stitches across this way, and then we are going to half double crochet into each stitch across the long way. So you have your 1, 2, 3, and then here's our first chain from the foundation row, and we're just going to crochet in each chain across. Okay, so now we have the 3 half double crochets that we did along the edges of our row, and then we have 1 along this edge. So if you put your bag this way with the bottom of the bag flat down, you'll start to see that it looks like it's starting to lift. So you want it to look like this. And then we're going to turn our work, and we're going to do 1 half double crochet into the sides of each row, just like we did over here. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3 half double crochets. So now our bag is starting to form even more, and it kind of looks like a little boat on the edges. And then you're going to half double crochet all along this edge, 1 into each stitch, and then we're going to slip stitch here to close off the row. Okay, so now we have half double crocheted one along each stitch on this long side, and we are going to slip stitch into the first half double crochet that we did in the beginning of this row. And at this point, your bag should look more like a bag. So at this point, it's starting to take a little bit more shape. So for the rest of this pattern, we're basically going to keep doing the same thing and going all the way around the bag until we get it to the height that we want. But just an important note, just to make sure that where you started, I don't know if you notice when you work in the round, sometimes if you don't turn your work, this, like, it'll have like a little line, I guess, where you connect your chains, or your stitches I should say, and it'll start to go towards one way. So since we were crocheting this way to the left, on the right side of our work, and we closed our row on the right side, we are going to turn our work and chain one, and then we are going to half double crochet all the way around to the left, but on the wrong side of the work. So you're basically, if you turn your bag inside out, this is the wrong side because we're working with the inside of the bag on the outside. So that's just what that means. So go ahead and complete your second row around of half double crochets, and then we will meet back here. Okay, so now we're back with our second row completed. So your bag should look like this now. And now it's definitely starting to look more like a bag. So we are going to flip it back the other way to the right side. And we are going to, so since we were on the wrong side of the bag, we were crocheting this way. Now we can go ahead and crochet back this way, the left side on the right side of the bag. And you're going to keep doing the rows of half double crochets alternating on the right side and the wrong side, and we're going to have a total of 6 rows. So since we already have 2, go ahead and crochet 4 more rows of half double crochets, and we will meet back here. Okay, so here we are after the 6 rows in total of half double crochets. And I forgot to mention this at the beginning of the tutorial because I'm so scatterbrained, that there's 2 versions that I usually make in this bag. So the first one is more like the shorter style, which is going to be this version, which is the 6 rows of half double crochets. So if you wanted to make the shorter style, go ahead and stop making rows at this point, and then go ahead and fast forward the tutorial a little bit, all the way to the part where we start making the straps. But for the rest of you who want to make the longer version, which the longer version, it's best to do the longer version if you don't like to line your bags, because if you do the short version, I personally like to line them and then do like a little magnetic closure. Since it is shorter, like, you don't want your stuff to fall out. But if you don't really feel like being bothered with sewing in a lining or having to add in a closure, you're going to want to do the longer version. So for the short version, which is this size right here, it's 6 rows of half double crochets, and like I mentioned, you'll just stop here and fast forward to the part of the tutorial where we start making the straps. And for the longer version, just go ahead and add 2 more rows of half double crochets, and which that's the version I'm going to be making today, so I can show you guys that version as well. So go ahead and do 2 more rows of half double crochets the same way that we did them for the rest of the bag, and we will meet back here with a total of 8 rows of half double crochets. Okay, so now we're back with our 8 rows of half double crochets for the long version of the bag, and we are going to make the straps now. So whether you make the short version or the long version, the strap is going to be the same, so go ahead and follow the same instructions. Okay, so since we have 3 half double crochets on the side of each row, we're going to have to go out 1 stitch because we're going to want to do 5 half double crochets for the base of the strap, because what we want is the strap to come out a little bit, and then we're going to decrease stitches so that we can taper back in. That way it kind of gives the bag that, like, I think it's called like a hobo bag, but like that look where the strap just kind of thins out. So if you did the 8 rows, you ended up on the right side. But if you did the short version 6 rows, you should have also ended up on this side. But whatever side you ended up, even if you wanted to do, you know, your own number of rows, let's say an odd number, and you ended up on this side, it's okay. You're going to want to either go to the left or right 1 slip stitch. So we have our 3 rows, or I'm sorry, 3 stitches that come from the bottom of the bag when we half double crocheted on the side. So from those 3, we have 1, 2, 3. You're going to either slip stitch 1 to the right, or you're going to slip stitch 1 to the left, depending on what side you ended up, and that'll just be based on the number of rows. So you're going to work on the wrong side since we need to go to the right, and you're going to slip stitch 1 over, and then we're going to half double crochet 1, which is that extra stitch that we slip stitched over to 1, and then 1, 2, 3 for the base 3, and then another one so that we're even. So it's going to be a total of 5 half double crochets for the base of the strap. So after you slip stitch, go ahead and chain 1 and then half double crochet into that same stitch, and then go ahead and half double crochet 4 more times. So we should have a total of 5 stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And if you look from the side of your bag, like if you lay it flat, you'll notice that the strap comes to the front a little bit, as well as in the back. And then we're going to do 1 more row into the 5. So turn your work, chain 1, half double crochet 1 in each stitch, Okay, so now this is what our bag looks like. And from this point, we are going to decrease 1 stitch on both ends. So you can chain 1 and then go ahead and decrease once on the first stitch. and then half double crochet. Oh wait, I went into the wrong stitch. So half double crochet once, and then decrease again in the last two. Having a little trouble here. Oh my goodness. Okay. Okay, so with the two decreases on the end and then the half double crochet in the middle, we should have only 3 stitches. So it's going to start to thin out here at this point, and we're going to go ahead and just half double crochet, turn, chain 1, half double crochet for a total of 3 stitches, and you're going to go ahead and just keep doing that. We're not going to decrease again. We want to remain with 3 stitches. So if you notice from here, you can tell that the strap was wider at the base and then got slimmer. So this is what it should look like, and then go ahead and keep double crocheting, or I'm sorry, half double crocheting. So that was 2 extra rows after that decrease of half double crochets. This is our 3rd row. So here's what it looks like with 5 rows of half double crochet after the decrease. Okay, so let's see, 1, 2, decrease, 1, 2, 3. This is 6. So go ahead and half double crochet again for the 7th row. And obviously you can make your straps as long or as short as you like. This is just the way that I do it for this bag. So this is 7 half double crochet rows, the 1 decrease row, and then 2 half double crochet rows of the 5 stitches. So this is about halfway in the making of the strap. So we're going to go ahead and repeat what we did obviously in the mirror image. So we have 7 half double crochets, or 7 half double crochet rows. So go ahead and do another 7 half double crochet rows, and then after that you're going to want to do a row where you increase 1 half double crochet on both ends. That way we can get the last 2 rows of the 5 half double crochets. So as I mentioned, go ahead and do 7 more rows of half double crochets, and we'll actually come back after that point so I can go ahead and show you how to do the increase. Okay, so now we're back after doing our 7 half double crochet rows to mirror the end part of the strap after the halfway or before the halfway point. So we're going to end up doing 1 more row of half double crochets so that way we can match that decrease row, because that one technically counts as 3 stitches since we did do a decrease. So after your 7, go ahead and do 1 more for that decrease row, so that will be 8 total rows after the halfway point of half double crochets. And then for the last 2, we're going to want to match the thicker part, the beginning part of the strap. So from here we're going to increase 1 half double crochet on each end to total that 5. So go ahead and chain 1 and then do 2 half double crochets in the first stitch. 1, 2, 1 in the middle, and then 2 on the end, and that is going to give us our 5 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can see it's starting to fan out, just like the beginning part of our strap. And then go ahead and do your second row of 5 half double crochets, just 1 in each stitch, and this is going to be our last row, and then we just have to attach the strap to the bag and we are all finished. So like I mentioned, this is a super quick make, and I hope you guys love this bag and that it's one of your favorites in your collection and that you make it so many times, because it's super cute and so fun. So you can like make this in just a ton of different colors, whether you want to sell them or just, you know, have them for yourself in different colors to match each season, or make some for your friends and family. I think this is a really fun bag and it is super versatile. Okay, so now that we have finished the strap, we're going to want to attach it over here, obviously, to the other side of the bag. So you're going to go ahead and find those 3 rows that line up with the bottom. That way our straps are even, because if it's off even, like 1 stitch to the left or the right, your bag is gonna look a little wonky. So let's see. Okay, so here are my 3. So we're just going to follow this. So this should be my 3 half double crochets, and then we're going to go 1 out on each end of the 3s. That way we can line it up correctly, since we did 5 stitches in the beginning. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. See how it lines up with the bottom. Okay, so for this part, now that you've found your stitch that you need to go into, you can just go ahead and put your hook there as a placeholder, and go ahead and take your strap. And we want it to match up without any twists, so make sure you line it up perfectly like this. But then you're going to take this part and we're going to connect it on the inside. That way we don't have like a thick seam on the outside of the bag. So we're just going to do a simple slip stitch. Each half double crochet, just go ahead and line them up with their correct counterpart on the strap. Okay, and here's our last one. So this is what it'll look like on the inside. And just to make sure you lined it up correctly, don't like tie it off yet. That way you don't have to untie a knot. Go ahead and lay your bag flat. And then just go ahead and make sure that the bag looks even on both sides, just to make sure we lined it up correctly. And it looks like we did, so we're gonna go ahead and go back here to the strap. And cut your yarn. And just go ahead and pull it through the loop so you can fasten it off, and then just go ahead and weave in your ends. And then I like to tie it again, just in case. I don't want anything coming undone. And then after I feel like it's secure, I will go ahead and cut this a little shorter. And here is your finished bag. So I hope you guys love this pattern and that you'll stay tuned for my next video.